Oh, we're recording?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright guys, we're going to get today's technique. So, today guys, we're going to talk about some cool options of attacking, of attacking our opponent via the wrist control that we've been working on this semester. So, I have my back mount, and maybe I suck at collar chokes, maybe I don't trust them, I got bad fingers, I don't feel like going down the rabbit hole of these collar choke, those transitions and grips. Now we talked about the basic tenet of this blade of hand control, right? Meaning that if I try to put the hand in the place that I want it to go, so let's say I try to push this down, do not let me, camera. As you can see, it will not work. You hear my struggle sounds? Like it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I want is to do is kind of like I want to hijack his decision making. Okay. So instead of trying to push the hand in the destination it wants to be, I'm going to pull the hand up, and I want him to react by trying to push it away. Right. I want him to put it out of range. Most of the time, it'll end up going down because if you try to push it straight forward, it will not go. I guess try to push it up or something. That won't work. He has to go down to clear it. Right. So our first option of attack is going to be to go over top. Okay. Now there's a couple ways that I can do this with control. I'll show you guys a couple options. One is just go over right away and kind of fasten it into the crook of your knee. I could theoretically cross my feet, but as we know, this is a bit of a risky proposition, so I gotta be careful about this. Anytime you guys are crossing your feet and back mount, so let me just note this, right? We basically never want to cross our feet and back mount. However, if my feet are high enough, like try to grab onto him, he's not going to be able to do anything that will attack my ankles. It's when they drift downward, right, that you can get that ankle lock. So if you feel froggy, it's here. If you happen to be tall, lanky, I could lock up a body lock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not quite that long, so that's an option. But what I personally like to do with this control the most, where I feel like it has the least amount of repercussions of them like getting their arm free or whatever, like I pull this in tight, he stretches it down. I want to fish and get my heel on his side. And then I'll start taking him to the choke side. So if get your arm free, please. Very hard to get his arm free, and I'm also kind of controlling this shoulder. It's like this hook and this hook. It's almost like I have hooks again, but with the arm instead of the hip. Does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm.
This also leads us to a pretty cool offensive weapon. In fact, we're going to do both today. We're going to do the chokes and the shoulder locks. So. Screw it. Yeah. So, I have the blade of the wrist. Right? We've demonstrated, okay, I pull it in tight, he starts pushing it down, I could go over top. Okay, cool. That's all right. He can kind of get out of this, you can start fishing it to the inside, start pushing it and all this as I'm attacking for chokes. Right? If I commit my hands to choking him, he's going to start fiddling around down here and doing stuff. Okay? So one step better, he starts pushing away. I can get it outside and clip with my heel. I want to notch. And one step better than that, I'm here, he extends. I'm going to put that hand behind his back. Okay? So for one, I can just step my foot up high and pinch in tight. Get that arm free, please. Very difficult. I have all sorts of manner of isolation of attacking here. Beyond that, we'll go all the way to the top. We'll start over the top. Thank you, boss. So I'm here, I'm pulling it in, he stretches it away. I get this here, and I'm going to start raising his hand to the ceiling. I got a nice little shoulder lock. Sometimes when you start going for this, they start pressuring into you, right? So it's a little hard. So what I'm going to do is use my knee to reinforce that. So if you guys look, let me get that just isolation. If I could get you just on your left shoulder and that arm behind your back. I have my grip here, and I'm using my knee to start raising that elbow up alongside my grip. Does that make sense? Yeah? The real key to this is just maintaining contact with the blade of his hand, right? Throughout the process. He's going to try to wiggle free. He's going to try to stretch it out, move it away. I want to just keep that in from from here, keep it in, right, and get the shoulder lock. Pretty simple stuff. So, you want to see that? No? Gotcha. Show that one more time. We'll partner up and just play around with that and move on to the next thing. You know, shoulder okay? Okay. So option number 1, I'm here. Remember, guys, do I try to push his wrist down?
Yeah.
No. Why? He's gonna fight it, right? He's gonna fight. Ah! Goes down like that. You're like, why is that? Is that guy okay? No, it's okay. Is someone good talk? I want to pull it in. I want him to give me that escape or that route. Number 1, go over. My knee should go over his elbow. You can cross, but you got to be careful. Your feet need to be high if you're crossing your feet. Or you just kind of stay here. It's not. I don't feel like this is the most secure arm trap, right? Exactly. He's gonna start trying to fish to the inside and recover. I might have time though to fish to my chokes and stuff. Option B. He stretches down. I let it go to the outside and I notch with my foot. And what I want is basically this to end up almost like a hook on his elbow. At this point, I'll take it to the choke side, and I have some pretty good control and ability to move for attacks. Option 3 is he stretches out, and I take it behind his back, and I just lock that up. And now, I mean, this thing is super stuck. And option 4, he stretches out, I take it behind his back, and I keep that contact, and I start bringing his hand to the ceiling. If he drives into me to close that distance where it might be kind of hard for my hand to do it, my knee is going to reinforce. This is full of loops in it. Cool. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yeah. I keep the exact same grip. So,
It felt like your hand didn't move, like.
yeah, what I want you to think, like, let me think of a good metaphor. Think of it like you're riding a unicycle, right?
Yes.
There's a tire. Yes, as we all know, the unicycle principle, right? There's a tire, and this thing is like, the top never really changes place. It's just the wheel underneath, right? So if you imagine the blade of the wrist as kind of a wheel that I'm rotating around. So let me grab you. Let me see if I can demo this in a way that basically you can see. So I'm gonna let me get you on your left shoulder. Let's see if this will work. So I'm here. I have the blade of the wrist. He extends down, and I'm just following it. So now what it ends up being is a grip that instead of like would be designed to push down, it's designed to pull up. So I end up with that exact same blade of the wrist. I'm just kind of following it around. Does that make sense? Anything else? All right, guys, let's partner up. Work it out. 1, 2, 3.